How do you get your pre-baby body back? You're a mom, you might have some young kids, or even you've just had a baby recently and you want to get yourself back into your best shape, but you're finding it hard. You're struggling due to the lack of energy, the lack of sleep, the lack of routine. Because of this, you're not able to get yourself into the gym. You can't just hand the baby off to someone and go off for 2 hours. You need to actually be around at home with the baby. So how do you get yourself back into shape? Just like my client Trevina, who dropped over 10 kilos in 12 weeks. She really slimmed down, dropped a few dress sizes. Ishdeep, who had 2 young kids at the time of joining, and she dropped over 16 kilos. And then also Harvey, who was able to drop from 80 kilos back down into the 50s, get into her best shape she's ever been in. And this is at the age of 40 with 2 young kids. I'm pre and postnatal qualified, so I can give you guys some great advice in how to drop body fat and keep it off. My name's Arjun Rai, and I'm from Team Fit Gains. I've helped thousands of Indians get rid of their TIDH, drop that stubborn belly fat without sacrificing their favorite foods. Yes, that means you can eat roti, you can still eat your nanni's aloo wale paronte. You can find out more information and check out all the transformations below. The link is in the description. The first thing you need to understand is that your sleep is going to be very disrupted, and because of this, your energy levels are going to be quite low. You do not have to go to the gym. What you need to understand is that your diet is really the key driver when it comes to fat loss. If you can get your diet right, you will be able to drop body fat even if you did 0 exercise. So if you did no gym work, you did no walking, no running, none of that stuff, but you've just focused on your diet and you understood how many calories you need to drop body fat and also kept a high protein diet, you would then start dropping a lot of body fat. Now, if you are breastfeeding, you do need to increase your calories by up to 500. So whatever you would have calculated for your fat loss calories, you can add up to 500 to that if you are breastfeeding, because the calories go too low, that's going to affect your milk supply and that's no good for the baby. So not breastfeeding, then that's normal. You can go for a 20 up to a 30% deficit. A 30% deficit would be quite aggressive. In the description below, I do have a calorie calculator which you can pop your measurements in, and then it will give you your target calories for fat loss, and also it'll work out your macronutrients. So the big emphasis, especially when you've got young kids, is going to be more on your diet. You're eating anyway. It's not like eating food is something extra that you're going to be doing. You are eating probably 3 meals a day already. So it's just understanding what type of food should I be eating with the correct amount of calories. And then once you get this in place, you can drop weight without doing much exercise. I know it's going to be difficult getting yourself into a gym. You might not be able to get cover for the baby or the kids. So you can't really go to the gym and do a 2-hour workout. And you don't need to. You can do a home workout. If you had a pair of dumbbells, you could do some strength training at home 3 times a week, 30-minute sessions. That would be enough for now. If you did this consistently alongside the diet, you would drop body fat and maintain muscle. Now, how long should it take you to get into shape? Looking to drop around 1% of your body weight per week. So after you've given birth and it's a few months down the line, your weight is up at around 80 kilos, and usually you maintain around 60 kilos. So your target would be a 20 kilo loss. A good rate would be dropping 1% of your body weight per week. So at 80 kilos, you should be targeting to drop 0.8 kilos every week. I would even say for most of the ladies, you're looking at half a kilo, maybe up to a kilo per week, depending how aggressive you go. Remember, if you are breastfeeding, you could burn up to an extra 500 calories a day to add that on to whatever you are calculated. Let's just say 6 months down the line, you've dropped body fat, you're in good shape, and you're thinking, right, my calories have been quite low for a while now. What do I do now? You actually do something called a reverse diet. So at this point, you need to recalculate what your maintenance calories are. So again, use the calculator below, put in your new numbers, your new measurements, and then this will tell you what your TDEE, your total daily energy expenditure is. And then afterwards, what you will do is slowly increase your calories week on week until you hit your maintenance. If you're dieting right now on 1,500 calories a day, and your maintenance calories are actually 2,000 calories, you need to increase your calories by 500. And I would do this with either 50 calorie or 100 calorie jumps every week. So this could take you anywhere from 5 to 10 weeks to do the reverse diet. Now what would happen is your calories are staying high whilst you're dropping body fat. I'm gonna do a quick case study on Harvey over here. So what she did, she started at 80 kilos. In her first 6 months, she was able to drop around 22 kilos. At the end of her first 6 months, we did implement a reverse diet. So by the end of the 6 months, she was actually eating around 1900 calories and she was dieting on around 13 to 1400 calories a day. She then went away for 6 months and she kept the weight off. She did her training around 3 times a week and she was keeping an eye on her diet and having a high protein diet. She then came back and to lose a little bit more. So we were able to go back into a calorie deficit. This time we actually dieted on around 1,400 calories a day. And then she dropped another 4 kilos. And by the end of the plan, we got her calories back up to 2,000 calories. And now she can maintain 2,000 calories while staying slim and lean. As long as she's doing her training and she's keeping up with her exercise and activity, she's gonna be completely fine. And this is what you wanna do. You wanna do the fat loss phase, and then you wanna make sure you do the reverse diet phase. This will stop you yo-yoing in weight. If you're someone that seems to be struggling with their fitness, their diet and their training, you can download my free fat loss guide. I'll put the link below. The calorie calculator in there that will calculate how many calories you need, how much protein you need. It'll also tell you your body fat percentage and it will set you some targets and some goals along the way. It gives you a really good understanding of diet and nutrition and can help you with some example meal plans and templates with the training plans as well. Click the link below and download it.